Shabbat Shalom. In this week's Torah portion, Mishpatim, the children of Israel begin to receive the law. Sure, last week they got the 10 Commandments, but those are only 10 laws, 10 regulations that they would have to follow. It's really in this week's Torah portion, in earnest, that they begin to receive some of the laws that will basically define them as they start to become a new religion. It is very curious that the first thing that is discussed in this week's Torah portion is how these children of Israel will relate to and take care of their slaves. Why is that curious? We just got finished reading about how these very same people escaped slavery in Egypt. It's odd to me, at the very least, that we would begin with regulations then of how they are going to treat their slaves. First, it's important to note when asking this question that the slavery model that existed in the Torah for the children of Israel who would have slaves was very, very different than the slavery model in Egypt. The slavery model in Egypt was meant to not only demean human dignity, but to take it away. The slavery model in the Torah that we read about this week is meant to increase human dignity as much as possible. Slaves, who really should be called indentured servants in this week's Torah portion, had to work in those days for a particular reason. The Torah is concerned, though, with if that is a reality, how will the children of Israel treat them, so that while amidst the fact that they do have to work as servants, they can still hold on to their dignity. But our rabbis, our scholars, were not content with that. They ultimately, after biblical times, completely outlawed slavery entirely from Judaism. Their idea was, as Jews, we only serve God in community. We never serve other people directly. I think, after looking at it this way, it's not curious that they begin with this. We've just gotten through a period in our history where human dignity was at an all-time low. It would only follow that our memory of that instance should guide us and push us to understand, as we read later in the text, that because we were strangers, because we were slaves, that we should never treat anybody like that. Because our human dignity was taken away, it needs to be one of our greatest priorities to ensure that we never do the same. Shabbat Shalom.